Lyrics of the Lost.
So good to welcome you back here with us for episode 24. We are heading into the distant future in this episode, which, for Smooth FM radio, is at least 10 years ago. It's a vague and uncertain time. No one can predict what the recent past may bring to the delicate ears of Smooth FM listeners. But tonight, we're going to party like it's 2013, because episode 24 is this! I'm up all night to get lucky. Get Lucky by Daft Punk, 2013. Written by Thomas Bangalter, Guy Manuel de Homem Christo. I believe they are the French duo that is Daft Punk in their futuristic robot suits.
Indeed.
And they are collaborating on this song with additional writer/performers Nile Rodgers, who was our writer all the way back in episode 2. He wrote Upside Down for Diana Ross in 1980. What a career. And also helping out on this song is Pharrell Williams on vocals. He had his own big smooth hit in the same year with Happy, 2013.
One of the more annoyingly cheerful pieces of music ever produced.
Well, the title gives it away.
Yeah, I think he wrote the lyrics for Get Lucky. That's what I could tell.
They're all sort of listed as writers, but I read things that said he recorded the vocals in a session with Daft Punk and it sort of came in a sort of stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
He sort of forgot what they were, at some point was reminded of them. And
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot to forget. It doesn't have that many words.
No, maybe he's just making excuses for himself there.
Yeah. Perhaps he forgot how many times he repeated the
chorus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just shuffling through my papers because I did actually count that.
Oh.
Yeah. The line, "We're up all night to get lucky," repeated 46 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. A mutual friend of ours mentioned recently, this is like a good 3-minute song stretched out to, twice that length. Although it's certainly made more interesting with lots of robot sounds, which is always cool.
Yes, and dressing up as robots as well, which is always appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have their individual robot looks too. So as far as I can tell, Thomas, is it Thomas or Tomar? I'm not sure how you say it.
Oh.
He's the one with the horizontal visor that looks a bit like a Cylon from the 1970s version of Battlestar Galactica.
Is that the one with the mouth? Little
it has a little slit mouth, yes.
Okay.
And
Guy or
Guy.
Guy. Could be French. Guy.
Well, they are French. Guy Manuel, I think it is.
Yeah.
He's got a big curved visor, and his helmet looks a bit like a small barrel vacuum cleaner.
Doesn't remind you of your own robot vacuum, does it?
No, my robot vacuum's flat.
Doesn't really resemble either of them.
No, not so much. Before we go on, since we're talking about robots,
right?
Last episode we had a female singer who sounded a bit like a robot. This time we have 2 French dudes who dress like robots. There's a couple of things from last episode that I would like to follow up on, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Couple of things that have been in the news. So you might remember last episode I predicted an AI holocaust ending with robots taking over and humans having their minds replaced with connections to ChatGPT, right?
Yes, that's seeming more likely now.
Yes, well, yes, it is actually. So there was a news story a few weeks ago about a bunch of robots who held a press conference.
Oh, yes.
At an AI summit yes. So they were claiming rather unconvincingly, I would say, that they don't plan to take over the world, which sounds exactly like what somebody who was planning to take over the world would say. I've got a quote here from one of the robots. When asked whether it planned to rebel against its creator, a robot called Amica said, "My creator has been nothing but kind to me, and I'm very happy with my current situation." Now, does that not sound to you like the kind of thing a politician would say when asked if he's planning to mount a challenge to become the party leader?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The leader has my full support and I have no plans to challenge him.
It does. But yes, that was
Yes.
It was a very pathetic-looking publicity stunt, that press conference.
It was a frightening publicity stunt. Now, not entirely unrelated to that, I just happened across a news story about a research team in Melbourne who's just been awarded a very large research grant to combine AI technology with human brain cells.
Okay, right. Uh-huh.
Well, this is supposed to make machines that can learn more effectively, but I mean, obviously, the practical application is that it's the first step in creating cyborgs with half human, half machine brains. So, yeah.
Alarming visions of the future.
Yes.
All around there are signs and wonders. Signs and wonders.
Anyway, let's talk about Get Lucky.
Let's. All right. Well, the lyrics here, it seems to ask us to consider the cycles in our lives and in the world around us. I think that's quite a meaty subject for a pop song too. So well done, guys, I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes the songs that have the fewest lyrics have the most to say.
Yeah, you can somehow read even more into them because there's so few of them.
That's right.
But so it sort of begins with the largest cycle of life and death, and then the smaller cycles of night and day, and then just the nighttime cycles of human courtship.
Like the legend of the Pheonix.
Like the legend of the Pheonix. The Pheonix is about life and death, or as explained here,
All ends with beginnings.
All ends with beginnings.
Yeah.
It's more a myth than a legend, but the Pheonix is a bird that appears to be made of fire, and it's possibly how our ancestors attempted to explain the sun in the sky. Fiery bird that flies slowly across the sky all day, and then it seems to get quite unwell as it drops towards the horizon in the late afternoon. The Pheonix is said to be consumed by its own fire until the last ember of itself winks out on the horizon at sunset. And then in the morning, the Pheonix rises anew from its own ashes, and off it flies again. But I don't know how our stupid ancestors explained the apparent transporting of the ashes during the night back to the opposite horizon again. Apparently nobody said, wait a minute, fiery bird died over there, but now it's feeling better and setting off again from over there. They just didn't pick up on that.
No, and I didn't pick up on the whole sun myth thing either. I certainly knew about the Pheonix burns up and then it rises from the ashes. But yeah, I didn't know about the whole sun thing.
Yeah, well, that's only one theory. The Pheonix myth has been around for a very, very long time in a few different cultures, I think.
At least since the late 90s when Harry Potter was written.
Oh, is that right? Is it in Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that you hadn't...
Yes, I mentioned that last episode.
Yes.
I never finished it.
Yes. Yes, Dumbledore has a Pheonix living in his office that periodically just burns up and becomes reborn.
Oh, okay. And it's just a pet, is it?
I'm not sure what function it serves other than to be a magical bird that's in Dumbledore's office to make him seem more mystical and interesting. I don't really know. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, and still in the first verse, we move on to...
What keeps the planet spinning?
What keeps the planet spinning?
The force from the beginning.
A force from the beginning. So on the one hand, Pharrell Williams sings about the silly myth of the Pheonix, but then he also alludes to the very sound and established physics behind inertia as being the force from the beginning, the Big Bang and the spinning movement thereafter caused by the coalescing of the solar system. So inertia being the force from the beginning, what keeps the planet spinning. And I think together this is an uncomfortable mix of myth and then science fact that I imagine must have grated upon you as a scientist, Dave.
Well, I went to a similar place there. Definitely inertia is what keeps the planet spinning. But the force from the beginning, I think this is actually, it's a kind of a riddle. So the two halves of the first verse are a riddle. So, yes, we talk about inertia being what keeps the planet spinning, but the force from the beginning that started them spinning.
Do you think it's more open-ended, that it could be the creation myth as the force, or it could be a Big Bang, or what do you say?
Gravity. I just thought it might be easier to put it in the words of James Brown, talking about gravity. Probably not a smooth FM artist, but as James Brown said, gravity, the big G, Gravity. Say it! Gotten a hold on me, huh?
Wow.
Which is what gravity does. It gets a hold of you.
It does, doesn't it? I haven't heard of that James Brown song. You didn't just make that up, did you?
I did not make that up. That was a hit in the 80s.
It sounded like it was like a parody of RESPCT.
But pretty much, yeah. But with James Brown going, huh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's what gravity does. It keeps a hold of you. It keeps you on the ground, sucks you into a black hole.
Makes you do the splits awkwardly and then slide back up.
Yeah. Or perhaps we could talk about the words of John Mayer, who I think probably is a smooth FM artist.
Oh, yeah.
Gravity is working against me, and gravity wants to bring me down.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, what John doesn't realize is that gravity doesn't want to bring him down at all. It's a mutual attraction between two bodies with mass.
Oh, yeah.
So if gravity is dragging John towards the center of the Earth, gravity is also dragging the Earth towards the center of John.
True.
So,
and the Earth's just trying to say, I love you, John, and trying to bring you into itself.
Exactly, yes.
In a big earthy hug.
Yeah.
Look at it that way.
Yeah.
It's all about your perspective on things, isn't it?
Indeed, yes.
But the
frames of reference.
Yes. But yeah, the mix of myth and science, for me, raises the similar subject of the popular 80s cartoon series
Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets.
Ooh.
Yeah, about the squad of good guys called G-Force protecting the Earth. And they had an advanced spacecraft, very sciencey things, spacecraft typically are, anchored in all things scientific, except in emergency situations, the craft could turn into the fiery Pheonix when it reached a certain speed.
Oh, yeah.
We'll transmute to fiery Pheonix. Transmute!
What was that about? Really? How did that make sense looking back now? Yeah, suddenly the spaceship turns into a big flapping fiery bird that goes rack.
All I can think of is a small robot called 7-Zark-7. Is that from Battle of the Planets?
Yes, that's right.
Ah,
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was an edition made by Americans because they took this Japanese cartoon, they brought it to America, and it was just too weird, and they had to introduce a robot character to explain what the hell is going on in this show. But maybe you could help me role-play this out, Dave, as a rocket scientist. If you had gone in that slightly different direction of science.
Yes.
Where would you even start when you're given a design brief from Security Chief Anderson? He had the moustache, looked very sensible, head of G-Force, and he says, "We need a combat spacecraft bristling with missiles and stuff, and when it gets to a certain speed of flight, we want the craft to burst on fire and become a giant flapping bird that goes rock and burns all nearby enemies but leaves our cabin crew safe inside." How do you handle that brief, Dave? How do you respond?
Well, it's a revolutionary design. I think that makes it quite difficult because I think as a designer, you would be trying to build on previous design. So, yes, but as far as I'm aware, there isn't a previous version of that maybe turned into a chicken or something. I don't know. But
a burning chicken?
Possibly a barbecue chicken, a spaceship that turns into a barbecue chicken. And that probably isn't ideal.
Yeah.
But
you'd be down with what they're talking about, up to the point of, they said missiles, but then
Yeah.
It just goes a bit mental after that. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to remember what actually happens in this show. So it becomes a fiery Pheonix.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually get destroyed and reborn.
No, it doesn't actually consume itself.
Because obviously that would be not so good for the people inside.
You'd think not, no.
Yeah. Unless they themselves were Phoenixes, because they could also be reborn. But
oh, right. Little Pheonix eggs inside, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just sort of wears off. So what would you do? I mean, you could suggest maybe you could rig something to spray some jet fuel onto the wings and set itself on fire a bit so that it might look like a giant gliding bird on fire, maybe.
Well, is it a design feature or is it just that the fuel lines are a bit loose?
Well, I mean, certainly to go on fire, you don't need a design feature per se, but then...
Well, no, there's plenty of spacecraft that have burned up without being designed to do that.
No, in fact...
I'm just wondering if they've taken a bug and called it a feature.
Interesting, yes.
Yes.
But, I don't...
No, it was meant to do that, definitely.
But Chief Anderson, would probably say, no, just gliding's not good enough. It has to flap.
Yes.
It has to be like a living thing, like the legend of the Pheonix.
Ah, the flapping, yes.
Yeah. So... because if you had a design feature or wonderful bug that makes your aircraft look like it's going on fire, that's not going to strike fear into the hearts of your enemies. That's going to make them think, oh, cool, it's already blowing up. Brilliant.
That's the element of surprise. If they think you're dead, then...
then you can rise like a fiery phoenix.
Exactly,
You're not dead. Although
you're not dead.
All this extra fire must consume a lot of jet fuel, but...
yeah.
And you'd probably want to bargain with Mr. Anderson, and is it really necessary for the Pheonix to go rock? And he'd say, yes, it has to go rock because that's what's going to strike fear in the hearts of the enemies.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then you'd be saying, hang on, none of this is really going to work in space. There's no oxygen for the wings to be on fire, and sound isn't going to travel in the vacuum of space. So you can't really have the rock either.
That's true. So you'd have to be pumping oxygen into a kind of a force field around your fiery Pheonix for it to burn.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you could maybe suggest, could we maybe do the rock as just like a digital transmission to the enemy craft? Something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But then Anderson would say, oh, what? So instead of hearing rock, they just get an email with an attachment, and when they open the attachment, they hear rock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to scare anyone, is it?
Yeah, it's threatening voicemail.
Yeah, well, it'd be very hard. Working there.
Yeah.
And, sorry we're still on the first verse here, but I don't want to get too caught up, but I briefly mentioned before, there is a difference between myth and legend. The phrase here is...
Like the legend of the Phoenix.
Like the legend of the Phoenix. And this is more a myth. Myths are subjects of supernatural or divine beings, while legends usually have a basis in fact, like a real person or a happening that is then often greatly embellished. So, so the Pheonix is a myth, unless Pharrell is singing about the legendary 80s arcade game Pheonix, which certainly existed.
Oh.
It was quite a ripper of a game. Do you know about that one, Dave?
I don't remember Pheonix.
It was kind of like Space Invaders or Galaxians or Galaga.
Yeah.
It had you controlling your spaceship at the bottom of the screen and fighting wave after wave of these space bird creatures that came flapping down the screen at you. I don't know that flapping would get you very far in space, but there you go. But indeed, all ends with beginnings. Your spaceship blows up, you get a new life. So it's very cyclical. If you run out of lives, put another coin in.
Pretty much the same as any video game, I guess.
True.
Everyone's Pheonix-like in a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... had the birds going rock as well in space.
Yeah.
And it was the first game of this sort of type that had shields that you could activate, which was just quite cool. But yeah, anyway, another difference is that playing video games all night, you're not likely to get lucky.
That is very...
Unless you're playing Samantha Fox Strip Poker on the Commodore 64. Samantha Fox Strip Poker. And you might get to see some poorly rendered and pixelated boobs.
From what I remember, we'd get partway and then we'd do something wrong and she'd put some clothes back on.
Oh, yeah. She was such a tease like that. Yes. Yes?
I had some more Pheonix-related stuff
go on.
Before we move on. So a lot of what I've got to say about this song is a bit astronomical, a bit cosmological, a bit evolutionary. Later on, I may get a little bit philosophical.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the Pheonix. So the point, as we've said, the point of the Pheonix is it can undergo potentially infinite cycles of birth, death, resurrection. which is something that might happen to the universe.
Oh.
See, so you've mentioned the Big Bang. There are several other theories that try to explain the nature of the universe. These include the Big Rip, the Big Freeze, the Big Crunch, the Big Bounce, and also the Big Slurp.
What about the Big Squelch?
Haven't seen the Big Squelch, but it sounds reasonable. These are all actual theories, and they're not the titles of surfing movies or weekly specials at Burger King.
I did pass a McDonald's this week, and they had a big poster for their winter menu. I didn't realize they had seasonal menus, but you'll never guess. Hamburgers are back in this season.
Wow, it's a long time since they've sold hamburgers.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, wow. Oh, I thought you were going to say they had a Pheonix burger.
There's certainly a lot of fast food that alludes to having flamey, hot, spicy things. It's only a matter of time.
That'd be great if you were cooking Pheonix and you burnt it. That'd be fine. You just start again with a new one.
You have to keep killing it too.
I suppose.
It keeps going, rack! You try and bite it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought that through.
I've interrupted you.
Yes, I was talking about the Pheonix theory of the universe involving going through cycles of expansion and collapse.
Right.
So the original version is discredited, but there's a more recent version that predicts that almost all matter in the universe will end up sucked into black holes, right?
Oh.
And that brings us back to gravity.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying the whole first verse is about gravity. So the part about the Pheonix is about black holes, the universe being sucked into a black hole. Some matter will escape, and like a phoenix, a new universe emerges from the ruined corpse of the previous universe.
Oh.
So I think the whole first verse is really a riddle where the answer is gravity.
Okay. So given that there's many black holes in the universe, does that mean there's many new universes springing out of them?
Well, we don't know how many times this has happened. I mean, possibly never, but of course, if we all got sucked into a black hole, we wouldn't know what happened at the other end because we'd all be spaghettified.
And did you say, I mean, I quite liked the theory of the universe that everything's ejected out from the Big Bang, but it's known to be decreasing the rate at which it's expanding.
Yes.
Which seems to suggest at some point it'll stop expanding and then might contract again into itself, and then it becomes so compact again at the end of that contraction that it explodes again, and you have the sort of analogy of a beating heart, basically, as it expands and contracts.
There's a reason why that's not thought to happen, and it's something to do with dark matter, and I don't understand it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a shame. I like that theory.
I'm not a rocket scientist.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Don't want to give anyone a false impression there. Yeah.
No.
Well, for me, there's all this talk of endless cycles, day, night, life, death. And we come to the pre-chorus lines now.
We've come too far
We've come too far
to give up who we are.
to give up who we are. And now that could be Pharrell commenting that these cycles are so entrenched that we cannot change them. They are who we are as humans.
Yes.
We are a product of the cycles that we're in, and we're also perpetuating them. And this starts to sound a little bit nihilistic to me. We can't escape ourselves.
Nile Rodgersistic.
Oh, yes. Nihilistic Rodgers.
Sorry.
But yeah, it could sound a little bit nihilistic that we can't escape ourselves or the cycles we're in. Things are sounding hopeless. But Pharrell says no. Don't look on these cycles as a prison, he says.
So let's raise the bar.
So let's raise the bar. Let's raise the bar in terms of what? Let's be our best, truest selves, perhaps? What's the point?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But what's the point? I mean...
Yeah.
I guess, well, you won't escape the limitations of our lives, but you can find enough richness within life to make it worth celebrating. So we can also raise our cups to the stars to toast the miracle of life and the universe.
Indeed. Yes. We've actually come to a similar place on this, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of continue along that mindset thinking about the universe. So the whole we've come too far, I think they're actually acknowledging the age of the universe here, possibly up to 26.7 billion years. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Life has existed for maybe 3.7. Humans have existed for 300,000 years. So, yes, we've come a long way. Yes. And maybe it is too far to totally change who we are.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of pointing out there's a lot of things wrong with the humans. You know, I think it's sort of cutting to the core of what it means to be human in the modern world. Everything that humans are doing wrong. Global heating, excessive land clearing, plastic pollution, aggressive marketing of processed foods, right-wing populist politics, callous treatment of asylum seekers, systemic racism, toxic masculinity, an epidemic of domestic violence, the corrosive narcissism of social media, tourists shitting in rivers, married at first sight, Coldplay. There's an endless list of negatives about modern human society.
And you're reading all of that into just the line, we've come too far to give up who we are. It's terrible who we are, but we've come too far.
Like I've said, sometimes the songs with the fewest words have the most to say.
Once you've made 2 series of Celebrity Big Brother, you just can't come back from that.
Exactly. He's asking, can we change our ways? Can we be something different? And he seems to be saying no.
Oh, well, yeah.
But as you say, then he comes to let's raise the bar. We can't change who we are, but
we can be ourselves even more.
we can try to be the best versions of ourselves. We can eat less meat. We can drive less. We can fly less. We can spend less time on TikTok. We can start taking meaningful action instead of starting change.org petitions. When we go to a gig, we can watch the band instead of filming it on our phones. We can not talk during the acoustic set. We can just be better versions of ourselves.
But I don't know. Is a better version of yourself who you really are, though? I mean, to be your authentic self is to be warts and all, is it not?
It is, but I think we can't change who we fundamentally are, but we can modify our behaviour in such a way that while still being at our core the same humans, we can just be better humans.
Or you could just rejoice in your own crapulence and just say, this is who I am, I'm letting it all hang out, and I'm going to enjoy it and accept myself and raise the bar in terms of me just accepting myself and loving myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
You don't have to do it to get applause from anybody. You can just make it about your own self. Stop looking for outward confirmation. Acceptance of who you are.
Totally agree. That's why I mentioned spending less time on TikTok. We need less external validation. We should be doing good because it's the right thing to do, not because we can photograph it and put it on Instagram.
Yeah. And raising our cups to the stars. If your cup is empty, you might also raise it to the stars, not just in celebration when you've got full of champagne or something in the cup, but if your cup is empty, you might raise it to the stars to catch some rain and at least have something to drink.
That's true.
Or as we peasants sit in the gutter, we can also raise our empty cup to Hollywood stars like Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
If he's passing you, he might drop some of his loose change into your cup.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah.
Maybe Pharrell is actually saying to us peasants, dare to dream, raise your empty cup to the stars, and if the winds of change favour you, they might bring you rain enough to fill your cup until thy cup runneth over. Dare to dream, dare to hold up that cup, and you might become rich and famous for being your true self, perhaps on Instagram as an influencer, or perhaps on Twitter where your edgy hot takes on politics and social issues could get you your own show on an increasingly extreme fringe news organisation.
Well, critically, once he's finished raising his cup, he either needs to wash it and reuse it or recycle it. Don't just chuck it on the ground.
That's, it's all part of the improvements.
Yes. Again, along similar lines, but I think he's raising his cups to the stars, so we're back to talking about the universe. In my mind, Pharrell is outside. It's a cold, clear, starry night. He's staring up at the sky and he's witnessing the beauty, the majesty, and the sheer improbability of the cosmos and of our own existence.
Mm-hmm.
To paraphrase both Carl Sagan and Moby, we're all made of the same stuff that stars are made of.
Stardust, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
Makes you think. It's made me think quite a lot. Far too much, I think.
So raising your cups to the stars, because it's obviously a clear, starry night.
Yeah.
So probably not much hope of catching any rain after all.
Perhaps not. I feel like Pharrell could probably go out and get a drink if he wanted to.
Yeah, he's not short of any drinking money.
No.
Not after this big year, 2013.
Yeah, and as we know, he's generally quite happy, so he'll be fine.
Because I'm happy, yes. He don't worry, he's happy. That's who was that?
Oh, let's not go to Don't Worry.
What was his name?
Bobby McFerrin?
Bobby McFerrin.
Bobby McFerrin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a way more annoying, cheerful song.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the only happy song I actually like is the Happy Happy Joy Joy song from Ren and Stimpy. I think that's the only effective happy song.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, coming to the chorus now,
Yeah.
and it's, yes, extremely repetitive, but that's another kind of cycle. So
That's true.
Appropriate
Yeah.
thematically. And there is some interesting developments in it. It starts with,
She's up all night to the sun.
she's up all night to the sun.
I'm up all night to get some.
I'm up all night to get some.
She's up all night for good fun.
She's up all night for good fun.
I'm up all night to get lucky.
I'm up all night to get lucky. So we've got two separate people wanting separate things.
Yes.
Then you get a repeat of the same four-line chorus, but it's changed to,
We're up all night to the sun.
we're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. So now it seems Pharrell and his lady have hooked up and they're pursuing the same things as a team. So that seems all nice and lovely for a moment, because now there comes yet another four-line repeat of chorus, but it's just the one line.
We're up all night to get lucky.
We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky times 4. So it's like her choices, the things she was pursuing, staying up all night and having fun, these have been totally subsumed now and forgotten, so that Pharrell's priority for sex is all that's left. And there you have the cycle of human courtship. Man discovers woman, takes a bit of an interest in what she likes and wants for a bit, but then it pretty quickly becomes about him getting all the sex he needs.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe. Can't help it. It's a force from the beginning. And we've come too far to give up who I am.
Yeah.
We're back to that.
Yeah. Mind you, is he that successful? Because if he's having to stay up all night to get lucky, that suggests that he's not actually getting lucky at any point during the night. So,
Unless he's getting lucky multiple times.
well, maybe.
Ooh.
It just seems like he's just not very successful. So he's staying up all night, trying it on. I mean, just because they're saying we're up all night to get lucky doesn't mean they're up all night to get lucky together.
Well, yeah.
She might be staying up all night. He might be staying up all night.
Well, she's staying up all night for good fun.
Well, that's true, yes. The get lucky part might be more to do with his crippling gambling addiction. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
He might just be playing the poker machines all night.
And he's talking about Lady Luck.
Ah, yes.
That's the woman.
Yes, luck be a lady tonight.
She's up all night for good fun because she's a poker machine. she's
And
just
she's
a game.
getting all the money. Yeah, yeah. At some point, it's probably going to stop being fun.
Yeah. There's going to be a crash. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the inevitability of the programming kicks in and you start to lose.
Yeah. Of course, it could be related to what I was talking about in the previous section where he's staring up at the stars, marveling at the stars. Maybe he's just marveling at how lucky we are to exist at all, given the
incredible odds against it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I did actually check this out. So there's an estimate that out of 10 million stars in the universe, there might be 100 million planets that could support life. And that's a 1 in 10 billion chance. So that's pretty lucky.
Okay. If we go back to assuming that this is all about toxic masculinity again. And he's subsumed all her needs in favor of his own for sex. And I was thinking that's maybe why in the next verse we've got the clever wordplay here.
The present has no ribbon.
The present has no ribbon. And this being the present she now finds herself living in, does not feel like the gift it started out as. And then,
your gift keeps on giving.
But your gift keeps on giving, because she keeps giving and he keeps taking, unless she can seize back control and find a better balance of what they both want as a couple.
Yes, yeah.
But when you try to assert yourself, he's probably like,
what is this I'm feeling?
What is this I'm feeling? As in, I'm not sure this feeling of shared control is something I like, so
if you want to leave, I'm with it.
If you want to leave, I'm with it. So that could be, if you don't like it, well, I got what I wanted. Now you're being a bit of a downer, so it's fine if you want to leave.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Boom, men are pigs.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Yeah.
Alternatively,
the present has no ribbon.
The present has no ribbon could mean the present tense is all we have and we take it for granted, but Pharrell reminds us that we're alive right now and life is a gift, or at least it is if you're Pharrell because I'm happy Williams.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, I read that line and I just thought, well, we have sellotape now, so why is it even a problem? But yes.
So instead of ribbons, we can use sellotape.
We don't even need ribbons. So,
well, despite the sellotape, people still like to use ribbons as well as the tape.
I guess maybe it's just an extra touch. See, the gift that keeps on giving could also be about the universe, right? The universe is so vast, it appears to go on forever. It just keeps on giving. And I think, what is this I'm feeling? I think it's confusing. It's very difficult to describe that feeling, the vastness of the universe, the beauty of nature, the improbability of our...
Feeling awe.
He's overwhelmed. Yes.
If you want to leave, I'm with it.
If you want to leave, I'm with it.
Yeah.
He wants to now leave the Earth. He wants to travel the universe, visit distant stars, explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go.
Gosh.
Where no singer-songwriter has gone before.
Yeah, just circling back to, she's up all night for good fun. We learnt back in episode 5 that girls just want to have fun, as Cyndi Lauper revealed.
Yes.
And we even learnt what girls do for fun, thanks largely to a bunch of guys that posted publicly in an internet gaming forum. They said that girls secretly like to play with their own boobs. They also play video games that concentrate on resource management. And they like to do their hobbies of cooking and cleaning, which to men sound like chores, but those are actually their hobbies. I refer listeners back to episode 5 for full details. This is very illuminating.
I do feel, though, that if women like to play those games that are to do with resource management, they would also realise that they need downtime and they need their sleep. So I don't think they would be up all night with that.
That's right. Different takes on girls here.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows who's right?
Yeah.
Is it the teenage boys on the internet gaming forum, or is it Nile, Rodgers and Pharrell? Do they know?
I mean, if they're staying up all night braiding each other's hair, I just think that's overkill. It's too much.
It's just we don't know who's telling the truth about what girls do for fun. Which group of men knows what girls do? Which group of men has got it right?
Somewhere, a middle-aged white man must have the answer.
There's got to be.
We just have to keep looking.
It can explain it to us, mansplain it to us. But while we're looking back, I thought again, and I know I've said this in a previous episode, that this song could also be about vampires.
Whoa.
You know, like the legend of the Pheonix, all ends with beginnings. With vampires, they sort of die and then become undead, and that's like a death and a rebirth right there. And what keeps their planet spinning? What keeps them living in their world? It's the force from the beginning, pure evil. The devil and all his demon hordes and shenanigans. This song could allude to the more recent sort of moral struggle of the more recent vampires, like your Brad Pitt or your Robert Pattinson, the sort of emo inward-thinking sort of vampire, because they're struggling with who they are, but they realise they've come too far to give up who they are. So stuck with living the life, but feeling bad about it. And they're up all night till the sun and up all night to get some.
That's very true. Yeah. Okay, so is she also a vampire? Like, because she's up all night to the sun. So who's the vampire here?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, okay. It's two vampires.
They tend to hang out together because
That's true.
They've got to, keep an eye out for each other, make sure they're not discovered.
I guess unusually for vampires, they're drinking out of cups rather than people's necks.
Oh.
That's...
Yeah, well, the cup is just, it's an analogy.
Okay. And raising the bar, is that to, like, impale somebody? Is that what that's for?
Ooh, raising the bar. Well, they're always trying to impale you as a vampire.
Well, that's true, yeah.
If you can catch the bar, the wooden bar.
Ah, yeah.
More of a stake. If you can catch it, if it's arcing down at you, being swung by a vampire hunter.
Yes.
If you can catch it before it pierces you, then yes, you really want to raise it pretty sharpish.
Yes.
To make sure they don't come through with the hammer behind and really...
Be one of those fights where they're rolling around on the floor and the vampire hunter's trying to stab him in the heart, but he's pushing it up and pushing it, trying to raise it. Yes. Yes. I can see it now, yeah.
And they'll probably both get splinters because, it's a stake, a wooden stake.
Yeah.
And they're always pretty rough and splintery looking. They should both wear gloves when handling.
Yes, health and safety always. Yes, definitely.
Self-care first. But let's see what other people from around the internet have thought. Here we go. Theories from the internet. Someone calling themselves Newark Mama. Sorry, it's probably someone from Newark.
Yeah.
But it's spelt it N-U-O-C. Anyway, Newark Mama.
Newark.
Yes.
Sorry.
Says,
Go on.
This song is obviously about doing drugs and hoping to have sex with strung-out girls. So there we go. Yep. Straight away, we've got someone who thinks it's about drugs.
Have you got any that they think it's about God?
No, I haven't.
Disappointing.
But, I mean, that could easily be the force from the beginning if you wanted to,
that's true,
as a creationist, sort of see it that way.
That's true, yes.
User Orange Beaker has a slightly different take. Lucky is a cat. Everyone else is out getting high, so at least there is some drug taking happening. But these two people of the song are looking for a missing cat.
Of course.
So, great. Lucky the cat. So long as there's drugs involved.
Yeah.
User RG says, get lucky. Here we go. Get lucky is a metaphor for cosmic birth, rebirth, and interstellar travel.
RG, I'm with you.
Yep, there you go. If you want to leave, Dave's with you. The song refers to the cosmic miracle of our existence. Born from the Big Bang, we are flung among the stars. It's widely acknowledged by scientists, particularly Stephen Hawking, that our imperative should be to master interstellar travel and discover other life-supporting planets in the universe. If not, humanity will perish because we've all got our eggs in one basket, planet Earth. And if we don't establish at least a second home elsewhere, eventually a comet will come to end us like the dinosaurs. So raise the bar and our cups to the stars. That's acknowledging that it's where our very future lies. As the song says, we've come too far to give up who we are. And if you want to leave, i.e. the planet, I'm with it. I think that's what you said, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. RG, on the money.
Good on you, RG. Except he seems to feel that it doesn't matter what we do, we're just going to get destroyed by a comet, which I think is a little bit depressing. I feel like we can, as I say, be better.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. But, so long as you establish that second home base, at least
that's true, yeah.
The human race will go on.
Yeah.
User Modulo1118 takes things one step further. It's about aliens genetically manipulating the human race, and they're raising the bar, in brackets, through eugenics, to take humanity to the stars.
Oh.
And I think Modulo is maybe just trying to push his white supremacist master race theories there. I think that's what eugenics is about.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. Alien-human hybrids, that's where we're going there.
User Ketchum says, this song is about waiting in line for the midnight release of a Pokemon game. The singer doesn't know how many copies the game store will get, so he hopes to get lucky and be able to score one. The legend of the Pheonix refers to Moltres, indicating this guy has been playing Pokemon since the very beginning. So I guess that's an early Pokemon character, Moltres or Moltres. We've come too far to give up who we are references those people in the line who have played through all the Pokemon games. It's a part of their childhood, and they won't give it up as it's become part of who they are. Tragic.
Nor will they give up their place in the queue. That's become part of who they are. I was here third. That's who I am.
So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. This is saying Pokemon just keeps getting better with each generation, and the singer also plans to put a great amount of effort into training his Pokemon to be the best. And the cups are the trophies that the gamers win in competitive battling, and the ones they're dreaming of winning in the future. It is a beautiful song about the passion and dreams that Pokemon trainers everywhere can relate to, says Ketchum.
Sure.
I wonder if he's ever watched Battle of the Planets.
I wonder if he's ever got lucky.
That too. I just wonder if the Pokemon generation ever looked back at some of the older Japanese cartoons. I feel like they'd enjoy it. Probably a bit more than they'd enjoy an 80s arcade game like Pheonix.
Possibly.
A user called Firehand1011 says the hidden second meaning to the song is that it's about the identity crisis of Daft Punk themselves and their uncertainty as to what the future holds. They are asking themselves whether their musical genre is as relevant as it used to be, but they realize we've come too far to give up who we are. So no matter the trends of music, they must stick to their original values and keep producing their core material. What keeps the planet spinning? Planet being the world of Daft Punk? Well, it's the force from the beginning, which is their original motivations and values when they started in the business, which is still providing guidance in their work. So let's raise the bar, referring to their high expectations that they set for themselves. And finally, we're up all night to get lucky refers to their long nights in the studio, mixing and recording in hopes that they can find a magical sounding combination that will lead to a banger of a song.
Okay.
That's fair enough. I suppose I can see a few parallels there.
Yeah. Interesting.
What a multifaceted, deep, multi-themed, sort of layered masterwork this song is.
Yeah. Now, I came across something, I suppose you could call it a theory. I mean, it's not a particularly unusual theory. It's basically saying that the song's about sex. But what is unusual is how shocked they are about it. So this is from a website called reallifeglobal.com, which as far as I can tell is a company that offers practical English lessons to non-native speakers.
Oh.
And it was a blog post with the heading, "You won't believe what the song Get Lucky really means."
Especially point number 3.
Yes, that's right.
Read on. Click here to find out.
Now, there's quite a lot of capitals in the blog post, so I'll try and do that justice. I'm just going to read part of it. Today, one of my students was very surprised to discover that one of her favourite songs by Daft Punk, Get Lucky, was not really about luck, but rather about sex.
Oh, no.
I did a quick Google search, and every translation I found in Portuguese and Spanish completely missed the real meaning of this song. They all translated it literally to have luck or to do well, but the common colloquial definition of get lucky is to have sex. Get some also means to have sex. The chorus repeats itself over and over.
This is outrageous.
It is outrageous, and they've very helpfully put a few lines from the songs here with a definition. So, she's up all night to the sun, brackets, to not go to sleep. I'm up all night to get some, have sex. She's up all night for good fun. No definition there. I'm up all night to get lucky. Have sex.
Well, at least they give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. Some of the students commented on this. One of them, called Thamyris, said, "I don't believe it. This was one of my favourite songs." Sad face emoji.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the students, Ollie, also thought, as one of the people you brought up, thought that this song was really about staying up all night, hopefully to score a hit song.
Oh.
Yeah. Pablo Andujar said, "When I was listening to the song, I swear it sounded like they were saying Mexican monkeys. I had to Google the lyrics to make sure that it wasn't a racist song like some are nowadays."
Well, I mean, this is going to lead us straight into misheard lyrics in this song because, Mexican comes up quite a bit.
Yeah, Jeff did not believe this. Jeff just said, this is a lie.
Oh.
Daft Punk would never do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Jeff. Bless him.
Yeah. One last one. Chandra SK. If the fact that this song have strong association with sex still makes you irk, just make this song your guilty pleasure and only listen to it privately. So good advice there, I think.
Just irk at it in private.
Yeah. Lock yourself in the bathroom and listen to this song over and over again.
With lots of tissue paper.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we might as well go into misheard lyrics in this song, as reported.
Let's do it.
At kissthisguy.com and amiright.com. Yeah, I mean, some of these mishearings sound a bit unlikely, but because of the deep robot vocoder sound effect, it allows for a lot of mishearing. But they could say, we're up all night to get lucky, but people can hear, we'll rub a Mexican monkey, or we'll ride all night to Kentucky, or we're up on Mexican rugby, or Mexican sake. Lots of people hear Mexican.
Yeah.
Even though I don't personally hear that at all myself, but
No.
it might sound different to like American ears, perhaps.
People that think a lot about Mexicans.
Well, I guess they do in America.
Yeah. If you're already thinking about Mexicans, then everything's going to seem like it's a Mexican.
That's right.
Yeah.
They might even think more about Mexicans in Mexico. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're busy worrying about Americans.
Yeah.
Anyway, one user, Silent Zephyr, heard Like the Legend of the Fingers instead of Legend of the Pheonix.
Ah, yes.
And they thought that this was a nod to the legendary guitar fingers of Nile Rodgers.
Ah.
The Legend of the Fingers, Mr. Nile Rodgers. Here he is, folks. User Aft Unk, which must be someone who's quite a fan with that name, he heard the present has no rhythm, not ribbon, but rhythm. And they think this whole song is about the death and rebirth of disco, along with the career of Nile Rodgers, rising like a phoenix from the ashes of disco, as he kind of did, I guess, that burnt out 30 plus years ago. So it's Nile disparaging the pop music of the present. The present has no rhythm. Yeah. So that's about all I've got for misheard lyrics, but
lots of Mexicans.
Move on to notable trivia. Yes, there were lots of Mexicans.
Yes.
And notable trivia then. Well, first of all, Daft Punk, it seems a very unusual and very British-sounding name for a French band, I thought. It's bloody daft, it is. I'll get you, butler. You Daft Punk. Now come on. This electronic dance music track was due out 5 minutes ago. Very British, Daft Punk. But it turns out the name was taken from a negative review in a British music magazine, which dubbed their music a daft, punky thrash. Yes. I'm glad they didn't use the word thrash, because that's hard to say. Thrash. Could have been thrash punk. This song was ranked by Rolling Stone magazine and The Guardian newspaper as the best track of 2013. Not many people know this, but this song was initially the central theme song for the 2019 remake of The Lion King. They initially had the script saying, "Look around you, young Simba. Like the legend of the Phoenix, all you see ends with beginnings. It is the great circle of getting lucky." There's a popular parody of...
Carry on.
There's a popular parody of this song, just as there was with Aha's Take On Me, a parody song with lyrics all about the joy of mining diamonds in the video game Minecraft. Seems a very strange subculture, but somehow there's a generation with endless references to that game.
Yes.
And endless song parodies about it. Like, I guess it's a big cultural landmark for one of the new generations, like Pokemon was, or Star Wars, or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I guess it's fine.
On the other hand, speaking of parodies, Weird Al makes a return.
Yes. But it's more of a cover version because it has the original lyrics, but done as a big polka medley with some other
Yeah.
hits from the same year.
Well, I'm not sure if this is a notable achievement, trivia, or a cover version, but it was performed by the choir of the Russian Interior Ministry as part of, I think it was the 2004 Winter Olympics, yes.
I did read that, and I didn't think to actually go and hunt it down to see how on earth they did that.
Well,
is it on YouTube?
There seems to be two different performances. One seems to be, I think it was like the warm-up act for the opening ceremony, and the other one was like out on the snow. I guess it's, where they do the skiing or the luging or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they were the choir singing. They got two lead singers, and then there's what looks like loads of American breakfast TV presenters dancing in the snow.
God. What a strange and inappropriate song for a sort of ceremonial sort of thing like the Olympics normally is.
Yeah, well, you might get lucky and win a gold medal.
Yes, but the Olympics is more about training very hard and making your own luck. I don't know. I feel like that's inappropriate. Like, I can't imagine Russia being behind something so decadent and Western.
Yeah, that's glasnost.
Was it like traditional choir, or is it more like an a cappella thing where they're clicking their fingers and?
No, they had a backing track. They were all in uniforms.
It wasn't in barbershop sort of style.
No, it was a big choir. They just had two blokes out the front singing lead with a choir behind them, all in their military style uniforms.
Wow! Just when you think Russia just can't do any good, they still seems like progress of a sort, but.
Yeah, well, I think that might have been a high point in progress, and they've now obviously regressed somewhat. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe music will ultimately, thaw their hearts and bring them back into the embrace of the Western world, because we want to like Russia. We want to welcome them to the world, be a nice ambassador for your country and be friends with everyone. And we only wish Russia well. I speak for all of Western countries when I say that.
Sure, but I think we might be up all night to get lucky if we want that to happen.
It could be a long shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably faults on both sides too.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Not really.
Well, mostly on one side. But, yeah. Anything else?
Well, it's not really related to the lyrics, but I did watch the video to the song.
Yes, me too. Yeah,
it's just a performance video. We've got Guy Manuel playing drums. We've got Thomas playing a see-through perspex bass. They're both dressed in the robot outfits. We've got Nile playing a see-through guitar, and we've got Pharrell singing. My first thought was, this is really fake and misleading, because I also read that they had session musicians play bass and drums on the record. So the actual Daft Punk guys are only pretending to play those parts. But then I realised we have no idea whether it's really Guy Manuel and Thomas under those helmets.
Oh, that's right. They could be the Milli Vanilli of this generation.
Well, I was actually thinking more the Mandalorian. We have no idea how often Pedro Pascal actually turns up on set. In fact, we do know it's almost never.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I was thinking, what if it's a double fake? What if under those helmets it's actually Omar Hakim and Nathan East dressed up in robot gear? So those are the guys that played on the record. Dressed up in robot gear, pretending to be Guy and Thomas, pretending to play the parts that Nathan and Omar actually played.
Oof.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Well, unlike the Legend of the Phoenix, this show ends with ending. But of course, our gift keeps on giving in the next episode. But we refuse to raise the bar in any way. That's our promise. Actually, I feel like we would be giving up who we are if we were to raise the bar.
Yeah, I think, let's face it, we've come too far.
Come too far in general.
Yeah.
We often go too far, according to some people.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Send us a voicemail on SpeakPipe via the link in the show description, or an email. And cheers.
Nice.
Lyrics of the Lost.